Welcome, everyone. Listen, if you're a student in Class 10 or 12 right now, or maybe you're a parent trying to help out, you know exactly how stressful this time of year can get. I mean, the immense anxiety around picking the right academic stream, it's practically a rite of passage for all of us. But here's the crazy thing. The world has completely shifted since most of us went through this process. Artificial intelligence is just totally rewriting the rulebook on what actually makes a successful career. So, in this explainer, we're going to dig into what the data actually says about future-proofing your education, so you can make the absolute smartest choice.
Okay, let's dive into this. Ask yourself right now, who is actually choosing your career? Is it really you? Based on your unique aptitudes and the realities of tomorrow's job market? Or, if we're being super honest, are your choices kind of being driven by outdated societal pressures and those well-meaning familial expectations? It's a tough question, I know, but facing it head-on is literally the very first step toward building a truly resilient future.
So here's our roadmap for today's explainer to help you navigate this whole transition. We'll start with the influence gap. Then we'll look at the AI disruption. Third, we'll break down the skills versus degrees reality. And finally, we'll wrap up with making the right choice. Let's get right into it. Section 1, the influence gap, or parental guidance versus reality. And look, parents are incredible. They are well-meaning guides trying to navigate a landscape that's just astronomically more complex than when they were your age. But this college video study found something super fascinating. Well over half, 54.2% to be exact, of students make their big career and education decisions based heavily on parental influence. Now, the catch here is that parents often just don't have direct industry expertise in today's hyper-specialized tech-driven world. So they end up giving advice based on the world as it used to be, not as it is becoming. And this brilliantly illustrates the harsh reality of that. When students rely strictly on well-intentioned family advice without pulling in professional, data-backed guidance, it gets rough. A staggering 75.2% of people reported at least one major negative consequence of poor career guidance. We're talking massive losses of time, real financial hits, and major career setbacks. Basically, 3 out of 4 students end up with serious regrets. That's a trend we absolutely have to break. Moving on to Section 2, the AI disruption. This is where we pit traditional jobs against the massive new realities of the market. We've got to look at the sheer scale of the shift happening right now. The traditional, safe paths that families have banked on for decades, they're going through a total seismic shakeup. On one hand, you've got traditional IT roles facing serious layoffs and hiring freezes. But right next door, AI and automation roles are seeing this massive hiring surge. They make up 16% of all job vacancies now. It's wild. The market isn't shrinking, guys. It's just fundamentally restructuring. This number right here needs to be a total wake-up call for us. A joint report from NASCON and Deloitte found that 37% of entry-level IT tasks are already being impacted by AI. Things like software testing, basic coding, data entry, those roles are transforming right before our eyes. The human element is shifting away from just blindly executing tasks to basically overseeing them, managing the exceptions, and ensuring quality.
But here's the silver lining. This disruption is actually a goldmine for today's students. Look at India right now. There is a demand for somewhere between 600,000 to 650,000 AI professionals. But the current supply is only sitting around 420,000. That is roughly a 50% talent gap. So this isn't just some big scary threat to old jobs. It's practically a flashing neon sign pointing you exactly to where future job security actually is.
Okay, Section 3, the skills versus degree reality, and exactly why skills are starting to outweigh traditional degrees. To really capture this new opportunity, we have to bust a huge myth. You know, that old idea that snagging a traditional degree from a big-name college is basically a golden ticket? Yeah, that's changing fast. Enter skills-based hiring. It's a recruitment model where companies actually care way more about what you can demonstrate, your practical knowledge, your capabilities, your certifications, than just the piece of paper you happen to hold. The modern enterprise wants a problem solver, not just a graduate. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the sheer scale of the shift. NASCOM found that massive 40% of employers now outright prioritize demonstrable AI skills and certifications over formal degrees. Seriously, let that sink in for a second. Nearly half the market is saying, hey, we care way more about your actual functional tech fluency than we do about your academic pedigree. That is a total game changer. And please, do not fall into the trap of thinking this only applies if you want to be a software engineer. AI is absolutely not just for the computer science crowd anymore. It's a baseline skill now. Think of it like electricity or knowing how to use the internet. Fact, 43% of the Indian workforce is currently using AI across totally different sectors. So whether you're heading into commerce, the humanities, or science, AI is that foundational tool you're going to need to supercharge whatever you do.
Which brings us to our final section, number 4, making the right choice and future-proofing your path. So, what's the game plan? How do you actually make the right choice today? Well, here's a really solid, actionable 3-step roadmap. Step 1, figure out your actual aptitude through professional tests and career counseling. Platforms out there like Skills Ahead are fantastic for this. They provide the exact support you need to leapfrog that influence gap we talked about and figure out what you're genuinely wired to do. Step 2, take full advantage of the NEP 2020 flexibility. You don't have to be stuck in a rigid box anymore, so embrace that multidisciplinary learning. And step 3, start building that foundational AI fluency right now. Pick your stream for sure, but start learning the tools immediately.
So the crucial point is this. We've really got to stop treating our lives like this rigid, stressful choice between science versus commerce versus arts. Honestly, that's just the old world talking. The new formula? You need to start choosing passion plus adaptability. Real, lasting stability doesn't come from some fancy job title anymore. It comes from aligning what you absolutely love doing with a mindset of continuous, lifelong learning. I want to leave you with this somewhat provocative question to chew on. As we look down the road, it's pretty clear the machines are going to take over the repetitive, routine, totally expected tasks. So, in a world where AI can do all of that, what unique human skill are you going to master? Whether it's complex problem solving, deep empathy, or highly creative judgment, if you focus on what makes you uniquely human and augment that with the right AI tools, your future is honestly going to be limitless. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you on the next one.